You know, I find this really funny. The two older people are using computers, and the two younger people are in pen and paper. It should be the opposite way.
That's so funny.
You know, right? You would think the younger ones would have the electronic, and the older people would be having it handwritten.
Right. Huh.
It's pretty funny.
That is funny.
I'm pretty sure you got 5 minutes. There's a 5-minute countdown going.
Okay.
Okay, how do we do that?
You have your phone?
Hi, everybody. I'm Vince.
I'm Anna.
I'm Zed.
And I'm Linda.
And this is the Open Box broadcast. Before we dive into our topics today, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Okay, we have new and upcoming videos and giveaways.
Yes, speaking about giveaways, we have another one. On the 21st, we're doing our first Thanksgiving giveaway. For more details, check out our Facebook page.
One last thing, last but not least, we want to shout out an organization called eHodo, and it's for educational purposes. They help children and their families. Please donate. We'll have all the information below.
Hey Zed, can you say that name 3 times real fast?
No, it's eHodo. By the way, just a correction. Thank you for that. It's eHodo.
He did the best at saying that.
It's eHodo and
good luck with that one.
Momolo Educational
Good man.
Services. There it is.
Yes.
Yes.
So here we have police arrest a woman who left her toddler at a Miami hospital. So she asked a man that was sitting there, "Can you watch my toddler? I'm going to the bathroom." And she never came back. Thank goodness this man, he was a police officer, off-duty police officer. He got a little suspicious, like, where's the mom? She didn't come back. And so anyway, here they arrest her, and it's a sad thing. Basically, the mom was saying that it was either leave her here, or next thing she could be sleeping on the streets with me. So, what do you guys think?
Oh man.
You know what? I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because Linda, didn't they end up giving the child to one of her parents, to a relative?
Yes.
Right. So it's like instead of going to the hospital, she should have just given it to a relative.
I think
Right? If she would have given the child to a relative, then she wouldn't have been in jail right now.
Correct.
She wouldn't be
but,
getting arrested.
You know, it could be
Wrong
a
action.
slew of things that really affected that decision. You know, ego, to say the least.
That's true. Who wants to tell their parents that they failed?
I don't.
That's
No
a good
one.
point.
Hey, when you're talking about your kid,
Yeah, but you
But guess what?
she
They-
was
they
sleeping
found out
on
anyway.
the streets. So
Yeah.
again, it's like, I'll leave
I'm
it.
sorry, I can't excuse. She didn't know he was a police officer.
Correct.
That's true. He
That's
could
true.
have been in the hospital.
I'm sure.
Anybody could be at the hospital.
I'm sure any mother that leaves her child with anybody
Right.
is not in her right mind. I would say. So I mean, I would take any actions she does with a grain of salt, to say the least.
I'm just saying, no matter what, you know, at the end of the day, it's like her family would have found out, Linda, if you're saying like, oh, she's a failure. It's like, hey, where's your kid? Oh, I don't know.
I don't
At the
know.
hospital, right?
He wasn't thinking clearly. So there were some issues going on.
I mean, I can't imagine she has the best relationship with her family if she's ending up on the streets.
Exactly.
Especially
Exactly.
that. There should be somebody who can step in somewhere to be able to support her kid, give her somewhere to stay, give the child somewhere to stay, somebody in her family, a friend, something.
Right. And again, I'm glad it was a police officer, and again, the child's safe. So, you know what? There are other options.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Well, hey, speaking of kids, we're going to have an amazing story. You're going to have to check out this video. This is where a man pulls a toddler off the street. So, guys, roll it. Let's check this out.
Snatch a 3-year-old girl off the Bronx street as she walked with her grandmother and 2 other children.
Grandmother was screaming, "Oh, he's taking my little girl, the little girl."
The girl's grandmother and Good Samaritans like Furman Bracero running after the man outside a gas station on East Tremont and Baisley Avenues.
Once these people started coming and started screaming at him, he let the little girl go.
Police say the homeless man is 27-year-old Santiago Salcedo. The NYPD caught up with Salcedo and charged him with attempted kidnapping a few hours after the broad daylight incident yesterday afternoon. Salcedo was found sleeping in the doorway of a nearby restaurant. He then allegedly told detectives the voices in his head made him take the girl, who was not hurt but likely traumatized from the ordeal.
Just be safe. You know, have your kid near, close to you as much as you can. Because that guy just scooped up that little girl like nothing.
It can happen so fast. Santiago Salcedo is behind bars this morning, but he is headed to court later on today to face a judge. He has never been arrested before here in the city, according to police, until now, but he does have a prior arrest in New Jersey just a few days ago for theft, according to sources. We're live here in the Bronx. I'm Anthony DiLorenzo, Pix 11 News.
I tell you what, when I saw that guy coming out smiling, I want to bitch smack the smile right off his damn face. You know, seriously, it's like, son of a bitch, I'll strangle you. You know what I mean? He's all happy. Yeah, because they say he's 20-man homeless. Yeah, 27 years old homeless, smack him homeless again.
It was
senseless.
It was crazy to go up and just grab that child. Oh my goodness! Like, what was he thinking?
The
Again,
audacity.
Mental issues.
Exactly. I mean, this is probably the 10th time I've seen this video, and still every time I see it, I react almost like the first time I'm seeing it. Like, what? On all aspects, like him picking her up and then him coming out of court. At some
I
point,
like the grandma for trying to go at him. You know, I definitely go at him.
No, I don't blame her.
She messed up, everybody. She seriously messed up. Yeah, I'll tell you how. If you watch the beginning of the video, she had no idea the kid's getting picked up, right? Got you there. But then she turned her back on the other two to run after them. What if that was actually organized and somebody was actually going after those kids? If they were, that's the easiest way. I'll take the one child out of the equation, then I can have my boys grab the other two. She messed up on that part. What just so people know, if you're doing this, if that ever happens, grab your other two children, right? Grab them. I don't care if you have to run with them, drag them through the streets, but make sure you hold on to them. Or teach your kids, look, if something ever happens, hold on to me. Don't, because the poor kids were standing there. They didn't know what to do either.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, I mean, as a parent myself, if something like that, God forbid, ever happens, my first reaction would not be to think solemnly. Although that's a great advice, it really is. But I know myself in that moment, I would just lose my mind. Really, it would just be like, I'm gonna kill this man probably. It's just gonna be like, you're not gonna go far, buddy. Like that's all I'm gonna be thinking about. Although now that I'm, what you said makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, it could be planned. It could be bigger than that. I don't know how really plausible it is to even think that clearly.
I would have probably sucked the kids on and be like, get them, because I can't run.
That's a great warning. That's a great warning to parents today.
Correct.
To look out for that, especially like organized crime seems to be like a very big problem. But honestly, the second that you decide to put your hands on somebody else's kid is the second. No, like, I mean, I'm going to grab whatever's in my way. I'm going to start making noise, screaming, making sure people hear me. This is a scene. You took my child.
Right.
No, I'm not thinking rationally. I'm not.
Right.
It's in the split of that
I'm
second.
screaming other people, get him!
Exactly. This is a community effort to get my child back.
Right.
At this point.
Agreed.
Yeah, even the Samaritan, I would have probably been the same way. Like, I would have probably been like, is this some kind of joke? Like, is this for real? It would have taken me a couple seconds to process that.
And the guy actually thought it was a joke at first.
Yeah, right, yeah.
The Good Samaritan thought it was a joke.
Even when I saw it, it didn't look real.
Yeah.
So you gotta just teach your kids at a young age. You know what? You stay safe, you stay with me. Anybody grabs you, show them some things. You scream as much as you can.
Make noise.
Pinch, you scratch, you do whatever.
Right.
You get the attention.
Correct.
Because I'm serious, if you watch that video, she turned her back for long enough where someone could have taken the other two children.
Right.
I mean, she did the right thing. I'm not saying she did anything wrong, I'm just saying in hindsight.
Right. Something to think about.
What not to do.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that it?
I believe Anna is going to take us to our third point.
Alrighty, you guys. So, a Wyoming teenager was arrested after refusing to wear a mask on school grounds. So we have this 16-year-old junior in high school who decides to, not a couple of times, go to her high school. This is October. This event happened on October 7th. But they've had mask mandates at their school since September 8th. So at this point, it's enough into the school year. You know the rules. Wear a mask. It's a health concern. Why are you mad that you are getting backlash from your school, from society, when you've continuously done the same thing that they've asked you not to do? And you're putting not only yourself at risk, you're putting your fellow students at risk, your fellow teachers at risk, and when they go at home, it's spreading even more. So just put on a mask. It's honestly not that hard. And they're not even asking you to get vaccinated. It's literally just something you put on your face and you can go about your day. Everyone can know that they're not spreading the coronavirus. Also, she said that she was a straight A student, self-described, and that she had never committed a crime, which I'm not judging her for that. That's amazing, but that doesn't make you immune from consequences when you break rules.
Correct.
Right, and she's purposely breaking the rules time after time. And again, I understand her point, free speech, free will. It's like, I don't have to do this. But again, now everybody else is
You're putting everyone else at
Yeah, I don't know what you have.
To be honest with you, the blame for me would not go to the kid at all. It's at home. I'm sure she's not, like, I should be empowered to do this. this is a kid.
point.
She's empowered to do this.
Right.
She's being told like, yeah, fight the system. Although she's not fighting.
No, you're absolutely
Get in trouble.
No one even knows you're fighting the system.
Even if you like read you can read like articles about like these situations, and you feel like these and some of them are like as young as 8, empowered to say these things. And I say empowered because no 8-year-old is going to stand there and be like, yeah, I'm doing this because of freedom of freedom. When I was 8, I was playing with action figures. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I met this one girl. She's, I think, like 12 years old, and she was transferring to a new school, right?
Okay.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to dress all kind of wacky and crazy looking my first day because I'm protesting." It's like, but no one's going to know you're protesting, so they're going to think you're like your first impression
just weird.
is who's the weird kid,
Yeah. Stay away from her.
and no one's even going to care if you're protesting.
Right.
Right, who cares? And you know, with that thing, like you're saying, my friend, he's a huge guy, right? He doesn't, the coronavirus, he doesn't like to wear masks. He's not buying into any of this. We went drag racing, right? He goes to the bathroom, he puts the mask on. As much as he doesn't go for the virus, he hasn't gotten vaccinated, but he's still smart enough to say, you know what, if the mask is required, I'm going to put
I
the
have
mask
nothing
on.
but respect for that. So you have absolutely every right to have your opinion about getting vaccinated or not. But I feel like the mask is a point of like where we meet together. Like you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine, but at least put a mask on.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They're not asking every student to be vaccinated.
Right.
They're just asking you to put on a mask so you don't spread the virus. We are in a pandemic. I'm sure we all know that at this point.
Right.
Right.
So just take the precautions to keep everyone alive. How hard is that?
Yeah, and unless she has like asthma or something where you can't wear a mask, that's understandable, then fine. Like you stay over there in that corner, you know, like keep further away.
Right. Take precautions.
So here's what I have to say to that girl. You want a shoulder to cry on? Pull off to the side of the road. That's where you get it from me.
Honestly.
Let me go to, dare I say, maybe a crazier topic still. So, man accused of raping a woman on a crowded train is released from immigration detention and never deported. So much to unpack there. Let's go into the details. All right, so the man who is allegedly accused of raping the woman in front of passengers on the Philly area train already had a criminal record and had overstayed his visa. Now, he had come in legally in 2012 under a student visa, but that visa expired for failure to remain a student by 2015. Since then, court records show that he's racked up several arrests and 2 misdemeanors. One for controlled substances and one, surprise, surprise, sexual abuse. So he actually pled guilty in 2017 for the sexual assault misdemeanor and was sentenced for 120 days in jail and 9 months of probation, and he was sentenced to an immigration detention. Then, guess what? An immigration judge ruled that this isn't really a serious crime.
Oh my goodness.
When he went to the details to it, and he issued a hearing of removal, and so he was literally released from detention, and because of that, he was able to do the same, an even worse crime. And here's where it gets crazy, honestly. Police in Philly are saying the attack was 6 minutes long on the train. There was bystanders, and none of them did anything. They just pulled up their phones and took videos.
Yeah. Nobody helped us.
Honestly, the only person that actually jumped in was 3 minutes after the incident started. Can you imagine the terror 3 minutes in? And it was a retired ex-SEPTA employee.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
it was crazy.
what that said to me is that, like, it's probably like an older generation who's not on his phone, who's like, oh, let me jump in and help and not like take a video of this. Mind you, I'm not against taking videos. Nowadays we get a hold of a lot of things because we're able to like video things that, in the past maybe we couldn't. But there are certain cases where like your help is needed.
Yeah, this is a city of brotherly love, and you're going to pull out your phone and videotape this? Seriously, I don't care how big the person is. One thing I learned, how to shut someone down real fast, I don't condone this. freaking ear clap, man. You hit them hard enough, turn them
He's
up like a
surrounded.
switch.
Obviously, it's one man.
Right.
There's tons of bystanders.
Yeah,
So
right. That's why you just woke up, boom.
Yeah, it's
Done.
honestly, what you said is right.
And if that doesn't put the thing away, I don't know what will.
Yeah, it's like there's so many elements to the story,
Yeah.
right? It's like, do you want to focus on the bystanders that just stood there and took videos, or do you want to focus on
Yeah, that makes
the
me
immigration
mad.
judge?
Yeah, let's focus on that
What
for a
if that
second.
was them?
Right.
You know, if
I
that was
know.
me getting attacked, I'd want somebody to help, but no, you're standing there just videotaping and watching her.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter who the guy.
Stefan.
Right. It doesn't matter who the guy is. It could be his first time. Right. The fact that it's happening,
Right.
and everyone's just standing around like, oh, I'm going to videotape this.
It's, like there are so many elements to this. The amount of people watching, the amount of time they had to do something about it,
Right.
the amount of phones that were around, and not one call was made to the police.
Correct.
When you are literally at a crime scene as it is happening.
Right.
But again, why isn't he out of the country? Get his ass out. Why
Yeah,
this is
I mean,
weird.
right now, hopefully now he will be kicked out of the country. He was charged with rape, so I'm assuming, obviously, this should be dire enough. Vince, you need to say something?
Yeah, I mean, this is just crazier and crazier. Like, I thought about the people videotaping it, and it's like, okay, well, should they be arrested or, something happened to them?
Absolutely.
And then, but then I think about, like, okay, well, if you're fighting, right, if someone's videotaping a fight, then it's like, well, what do you do if they're videotaping a fight? And then, should they get arrested for videotaping that action, too?
Well, they've actually brought in others, and they put them on trial too, because it's like you didn't do anything. So there can be charges.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that kind of makes me feel a little bit better.
That does
Yeah.
make me
Yeah.
feel
Okay, so there are filing charges against some of them?
There,
Yeah,
there,
there's in the past they have, yeah.
Okay.
there definitely needs to be accountability there.
For
Right.
sure. There's no way that there's this many people witnessing something so tragic happen and nobody doesn't.
Yeah, because I'm focusing more on the people standing by,
Yeah.
They're the ones that had every right to stop it, and they didn't.
No, I kind of wish we sprinkled some good news in here. It's all like terrible.
Right, right.
We want to talk about, yeah.
That's it.
Well, the good news was the giveaway, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Forget that giveaway.
Yeah, so we start off with good news.
All right, Vince.
Yeah, so we're gonna have another video. This one for me, it just kind of really blew my mind. This happened on December 20th. It was posted on Facebook on September 17th, 2021. A father and son get harassed by the police. Really, this is so sad. I can't even say. So let's roll this tape, guys.
My name is Sergeant Schmont, DeKalb Police Department's reason being stopped today. You made a wide right turn when you turned from 1709 to 377. Any reason why you're rolling your window up when I walk up to this car?
No, sir.
You had been driving it down for the past mile.
I just rolled it up.
All right, step out of the car for me.
This officer is about to go on a power trip.
Step out. Do not shut that window. Open it now. Step out. Right here. Face that direction. Face that direction. Put your hands right here behind your back. Don't move. Do you understand? Why are you acting so suspicious?
Dude arrests a guy making a wide right turn and rolling his window up for half a second.
Nothing. I rolled out my window.
Take off.
That's my dad.
Yeah.
I rolled out my window,
320. Give me unit code now.
and I rolled it up. Back
Separate
up.
your feet.
Yeah.
You're about to be arrested for blocking the roadway if you don't park and get out.
I rolled. I rolled
Park
up.
over there.
The rogue officer then confronts the boy's father in the truck.
Is your ID in your wallet?
Yes, sir.
Why on earth are you acting like this?
I'm just nervous, man.
Look,
Okay, I'm
it was a
sorry.
routine traffic stop, all right?
As the father drives down the street, the officer claims this is routine. What exactly is routine about this?
You roll up the window, and I'm trying to do my job, and now you're taking away. Just watch him. Yep.
The boy's father is on the left, recording. Watch what happens next.
Better yet, arrest him. For what? For blocking the roadway. Blocking the roadway? Yep. Sit down right here. Sit down right here. Sit down.
Okay, can you?
Sit down. You stopped right here in the middle of the roadway.
You got this on video. This guy's arresting me for just standing here. And now he's taking my phone away. Dude, oh my God. Hey, dude, what is Frame. I'm not even doing anything.
Because the boys in blue want to, they physically assault the boy's father for recording the incident on his phone.
Get that off his hands. Get his hand behind the back.
Run for it. What the heck, man? Stop! Stay away! Stay away!
They then proceed to pepper spray a defenseless father.
That was totally unnecessary.
Unreal situation, except it is real. It's believable. This story garnered national attention and put a spotlight on the city of Keller's police. Locally, NBC Dallas Fort Worth wrote Dylan Puente was driving to his grandmother's house when Keller Police Sergeant Blake Shimanek pulled him over and accused him of making a wide turn. Shimanek can be heard on the video asking Puente why he rolled his window up and was acting suspicious. Seconds later, Puente was in handcuffs. That's when Puente's father, Marco, drove up and started to record video on his cell phone. You're about to be arrested for blocking the roadway if you don't park and get out, Shimanek told Marco. The dashcam video showed he wasn't blocking the roadway at all and had stopped next to the curb. Shimanek threatened to arrest Marco multiple times, and just a few minutes later, he grabbed Marco's phone, pinned him to the ground, and ordered another cop 3 times to pepper spray him. The officers arrested the father and son and booked them into Tarrant County Jail. Marco was later released, and the 2 charges against him were dropped. Dylan had to pay more than $350 in fines and fees before he could leave. Fast forward to the lawsuit and settlement. $200,000 was the final number they reached. As the Times wrote, the suit also accused one of the officers of racially profiling Dylan. The Puentes are Hispanic, and the city of Keller is 87% white, according to census figures. A photo included in the lawsuit shows Officer Shimanek putting Mr. Puente in a headlock. Mr. Puente was then pepper sprayed, according to video footage, with Officer Tomer removing Mr. Puente's sunglasses before spraying him a second time. Blake Shimanek, the mentally fragile officer who escalated this entire situation, resigned roughly 1 week after the settlement. For the Dallas Morning News, Shimanek has been indicted, alleging he intentionally subjected the man to an arrest and mistreatment that he knew to be unlawful. The second officer, Ankit Tomer, was not disciplined. Shimanek faces up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $4,000 if convicted of official oppression, a Class A misdemeanor.
Yeah, so was that the most disturbing video? I mean, that was just crazy. So 80% of the people there are white people. I mean, look at this. The kid was just making like a wide turn. And then the window, and then the cop pulls him out and puts him on handcuffs, right? And then when the father comes up with the truck, he says, "You're blocking the road." Hey, dumbass, you left the door open to the car. Right? The cop was blocking more of the road than the truck was. Because if you know, there was tons of space there. There was tons of room for the car to come by. Well, I mean, that cop was just totally
out of line.
Out of line. And
he was bored. Let me just do this.
Kudos for the kid. The kid handled that situation
absolutely
perfectly.
Right. He was very calm. Even when they were talking to his dad, everything happened. He was calm and collected.
Textbook, exactly. Textbook. Yeah. And the dad, textbook. The dad moved the truck, went over to the sidewalk, perfect, did nothing wrong. And then when the other officer came over, he was even like, "Wait, what am I doing again?"
It kind of makes your blood boil.
Hey, you guys, man, I like the police, but seriously, start questioning some of this shit, okay?
Yeah.
If a man is just standing there and he says arrest him, stop following the damn orders. Use your mind, man. Right. I know you're in the heat of a situation, but there were no guns pointed on you. There was nothing.
There was no crime committed, except the crime committed by the cop.
The police were not in danger.
Yeah.
Right? You're not in danger. So when the other guy says arrest him, start thinking, man, what should I be doing? Right. And then because he says something, all of a sudden you're pepper spraying the guy twice?
Right.
Yeah. That is
I mean, you know what's so crazy? I shouldn't be laughing, but it's honestly so crazy. It's almost like unrealistic. He removed the glasses off to pepper spray him. Like how intentional that was.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to pepper spray you.
Awful. Charges should be brought against him. I mean, you know, they're abuse of power.
Absolutely.
Oh, no,
He's supposed to be there to protect.
He resigned
abuse of power.
After they won the lawsuit. He resigned. Yeah. He resigned, and they were looking to file charges against him. Except the other officer, they're not doing anything with him. Wow. But to the officers out there, do you guys ever watch these videos?
I know, right?
You know, it's like, do you ever watch the videos and say, especially right after George Floyd, it's like, did you guys ever watch that stuff?
I was just about to bring up, how do you not, like, especially after that, like, do you not have your own conscience?
Yeah.
Are you not taught to have your own point of view about a situation as a police officer?
Right.
Why are you just blindly following the person who you're with.
Right.
I understand you are coworkers, but at some point you have to understand you're handling people's lives.
Right.
And you're
in a position of power.
You are, and you have a firearm, and you have so much power. Over this person or individuals that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, I know your life's in danger, all this stuff, but there was zero danger, you know. And at work, if you do something wrong at work, they reprimand you, don't do it again, right? So you learn, stove hot, mean don't touch them anymore, right?
Right.
Guys, right? Search George Floyd. It's like, think about it. It's like, behave. For these guys that get caught, that means he's been doing that a lot more than just this time.
Right, and
that's what
true.
I'm thinking.
And
that means you've done this so much, and you've always gotten away with it that you're like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing it no matter what the world is happening to. I'm just going to still do my same thing.
Right. Yeah.
I think he's done that a lot.
I wonder if like these cops, if they watch these videos played back,
right?
Do they have like a moment they're like, oh, wow, I was way out of bounds, or do they like, oh yeah. Right, I should be punching kids and or whatever. You know what I mean? Like pepper spraying the father for doing nothing, essentially.
Crazy.
But like, I wonder, like, do they like? Is it like? I almost really want to understand what they're thinking when that's happening. Like, is it like they're out of their body? So like when they watch these videos, they're like, oh my God, did I actually do this? Or is it like, yeah, that's what do you expect me to do?
Yeah, it was a nice day. It was sunny. It's not like it was raining, thunderstorms, tornadoes in the background.
Right.
You know,
You just
it was a
want
relaxing
to give someone
moment.
a hard time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know what? Yeah.
Crazy.
Make their day miserable.
Oh, he admitted to it afterwards.
Oh, as in what did he say?
Oh yeah, he basically afterwards, after the lawsuit, he's like, oh yeah, I did it on purpose. I know, he knew what he was doing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But before the lawsuit, if he had to save face, he would definitely say, "Oh, I was just acting within my procedures and whatnot."
Right.
I feel like it wouldn't be as he wouldn't say, "Oh, yeah, I was just doing that to him."
You know, I'm glad he admitted it.
Yeah.
He's just flat out, you know, because I know. So
Yeah, 'cause that doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, he did own it. He did own it and said, yeah, you know what? I just went after him, profiled him.
Something.
So at least he was honest about it afterwards.
That's really good, actually.
And just to let you know, again, about the child that was abducted, you know, with the grandmom, she was rescued. She was, you know, she's safe.
Okay.
You know, so just so you know, okay, she's okay out there. Now we have another crazy one here. This mom actually records on Facebook saying how ugly her child is. The baby's like 3 months old or something, and she's in the card. It was horrible. You have to see this video.
Larry wrong for this. He wrong. My biggest fear was having an ugly baby. Now look what the fuck I got. Look at him. He is so funny looking. He got all this hair though. My little girl, she bald head. But his funny looking self, he got all the hair. I ain't want to have no ugly baby. I just knew that it was going to be a 50-50 chance that one of these kids was going to come out ugly because of him. Now look. Now I got to wait for his looks and shit to come in. 1 minute he look all handsome, and the other minute he look like fucking Alien versus Predator. He need to pick a side. He need to pick it quick. Got me walking around. This your baby? Oh, bless his heart. Yeah, I know what that shit mean. I'm sorry, your daddy marked you. You look like him. That's cool though. We're just sitting in the front seat thugging at the water park watching his sisters and them play. And she up here too. We in the air conditioning. Up that ass. Girl, it's true, man. It's true. It's okay. He ain't gonna be ugly all his life. At least I hope not. Woo, Father God, in the name of Jesus, let him grow up to be handsome. Cause right now, I'm just, he not feeling it. He looks just like you. Boy, you finna get your ass blocked. He don't look shit like me. I'm not ugly. And I wasn't an ugly baby. He's funny looking. I don't want to call him ugly. I'm going to just call him funny looking. Look at him. Oh my God. Your daddy need a whooping. He need his ass. Let me call your daddy. We about to call your daddy. Because this right here, this shit don't make no sense. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to go through this. Why the fuck do my son look so funny looking? He funny looking. You ain't right.
What the fuck?
You ain't right.
Wow.
I'm sorry. My son look like you, and he just not all that cute right now.
Oh, okay, well.
Oh, he just threw up on me. Ayana, what you crying for? She's scared. She's scared of the water. She's like, I'm scared. He just threw up all over me. That's what I get, y'all.
So fans, what did you think? Oh my goodness. Watching that video and this terrible mom saying how ugly. Then she called him like, oh, a funny baby. That is terrible. And she had another child in the back. I mean, this kid's going to be scarred. And as a mom, I have 3 children. I would never talk like that.
Yeah.
As the child grows up, oh, well, your mom thinks you're ugly. And you know there's always going to be somebody that's going to talk about that video.
You know, even the toddler, the 5-year-old, the 6-year-old, he's going to grow up, or she's going to grow up thinking that, you know, looks are so important that my mom doesn't even love her own baby because he doesn't look up to a standard that she has.
Right.
I mean,
The lifelong self-esteem issues that could cause.
Yeah. I mean,
exactly. You do have a point there because that will travel with him for years.
forever, I would say, at this age. I would say forever, yeah.
You know, I was pissed that the video is still online.
It's
Seriously?
a lot of hits.
No, the video should have just been erased right away. They should leave it out there. When I viewed it, I was like, really, it should be gone.
Honestly, it's probably best that it is removed, hopefully in hopes that the kid never gets to see this.
The Facebook should be, her Facebook page gone, the video should be gone.
Correct.
And one thing I know, my friend, like 8 years ago, had some YouTube videos. Went out, and turns out the chief of police in Philadelphia, they found out what the videos, every video was gone within 3 days.
Well, that has to do with the police.
But still, I mean, something that appalling. So I don't care what she did. I'm just saying what they should have rules and say, you know what?
Agreed.
We're going to get rid of this.
Yeah, I would put some of the blame on like the social media platform, perhaps, that it was also on, because I mean, you have to think like this is essentially hate speech. Like this shouldn't be allowed to be.
Exactly. That way, it's like you're saying, oh, when the kid grows up,
right?
No, just get rid of the video.
Right.
Done.
Yeah, but people are still going to, you know, especially if it's a family member, you don't know how many people are on your Facebook. So it was just a horrible thing because people will remember it and somebody at some point is going to bring it up and this poor child, you know. And again, when babies are born, they're not all cute. We know that, you know, they grow into their looks. So
I still am.
Shouldn't really matter.
Zed and Anna, no, you guys have already grew into them.
Taking us,
okay, well, we'll be brave.
Taking us back to infuriating videos.
No, hold on, Zed, if you don't mind. Yeah, Nancy Smith. You have a question? This is great.
Nancy.
Yeah, right. Hey, yeah, about the cop where the woman handed the baby to the cop. So she didn't know he was a cop. She handed it to him. And then, so he does not have the baby. Right now, the baby is with a family member, which is why I was saying that's what she should have done in the first place, was just give the baby to a family member, and she wouldn't be arrested or in jail.
Right.
Yeah. So thanks, Nancy, for answering that question. Zed, take it away.
All right. Well, get ready to have your blood boiling again. Despicable Cup might face jail time for this video.
No, nobody cares what you're saying. No, Karen, nobody cares what you do either.
Oh, this.
You understand that?
Yeah, I'm not the one out here complaining.
No, that was the thing. Nobody cares what you do anymore.
This man's name is Jermaine Vaughn.
I know, nobody's out here
Nobody
complaining.
cares what you do anymore. You understand that?
Lean back.
Nobody cares what you do anymore.
Lean back.
How the fuck am I gonna lean back with the fucking you hold my
Quit.
belt?
Look, we're not gonna do this, right? We're not gonna do this, right?
And this senseless piece of nothing that kicked Vaughn is Sergeant Eric Huxley.
Stop. You're done. You're done. You're done. Are we done now?
Yeah.
Roll over. You're done.
I can't.
Roll over.
I can't.
You're done. There you go. You're done. There you go. There you go. Police brutality.
Indeed, it was. There are multiple angles that show the aggressiveness officers had in detaining Vaughn in the city of Indianapolis. It is a scary scene that is unfortunately all too common. Police abusing minorities in horrendous, inhumane ways. Per CNN, Sergeant Huxley has been criminally charged at the state level, though he has not been terminated. Acting U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Indiana, John E. Childress, said Wednesday that if the investigation reveals prosecutable violations of any federal criminal statutes, the Department of Justice will take appropriate action. Huxley has been suspended without pay, and IMPD Chief Randall Taylor has recommended Huxley be terminated for his actions. An IMPD internal affairs investigation is ongoing. Video of the police encounter shows a man identified as Vaughn lying on the ground in handcuffs when Huxley lifts his left leg and drives his left foot down into the man's face as blood appears on the man's mouth within seconds, according to a probable cause affidavit. In the not-so-surprising tale of cops lie, Huxley tries covering for himself, realizing he made a blatant error. Quote, I accidentally kicked him in his face. I was attempting to put my foot on his shoulder, and I accidentally kicked him in his face. Per The Independent, video footage appears to show that Sergeant Huxley stomped on the head of a handcuffed homeless man, 39-year-old Vaughn, during an arrest. Ironically, Sergeant Huxley's body cam, while on, did not capture the kick to Mr. Vaughn's face. The other responding officers' cams happened to not have an alleged malfunction. Odd how that works in times like these, right? Those two officers involved in the incident are Sergeant Christopher Kibbe and Officer Matthew Shores. Whitney Malone, Vaughn's sister, told WTHR, it was very shocking for my mother to call me and say he was on the news and getting his face stomped in by a sergeant. They were shocked because until Tuesday, they didn't know where he was. Malone lives in Richmond, Indiana. She said their family has been looking for Vaughn for 2 years. She said before Vaughn developed paranoid schizophrenia, he was a good, hard-working man. This falls in line with how inexperienced officers are in responding to someone in a mental health crisis. In Los Angeles, an internal review by LAPD reported that 37% of police shootings last year involved suspects with documented signs of mental illness. Mental health situations are responsible for about 1 in 10 calls. Many stem from undiagnosed conditions unknown to police and first responders. The consequences can be tragic. While about 3% of U.S. adults suffer from a severe mental illness, they make up a quarter to 1/2 of all fatal law enforcement encounters, according to the nonprofit Treatment Advocacy Center. Also unacceptable, after Vaughn was arrested for disorderly conduct, he was then taken to jail and did not receive medical treatment following the incident, said IMPD Chief Randall Taylor. Jail records show Huxley has not yet been arrested. Police said charges were recently filed and told the Indy Star that a warrant will be issued for Huxley's arrest if he does not turn himself in.
Police in Aurora, Colorado are apologizing for this video, for the brutal attack that you saw. I mean, again, very difficult to watch. It was caught on the body cameras of the two officers. My first take is always almost to think, did you forget that you have your cameras on? But you know, to give you a little bit more details here, so the two officers were after 3 men with felonies. So, you know, at this point of the story, they're in every right to arrest the men, right? They're coming after the arrest. 2 of them fled the scene. 1 complied and was arrested, as you see. So he's arrested. He's handcuffed. His hands are behind his back. We are not discussing if this man is a felon or not, or if he deserves to be arrested or not. He was arrested. That is done. And then you saw what you saw. He was beaten viciously.
brutally. I mean, one of the injuries that he sustained was a cut that required 6 stitches. You're almost at a loss of words. I mean, you know, you can understand again why he's arrested, but once he's in handcuffs, why are you assaulting this man? Why are you putting your hands on him at all?
Exactly. He's handcuffed, hands behind his back. The one kicks him right in the face.
It was, oh my God.
And then next thing you know, the legs behind, leaning on his butt. It's like, how can you even move? He can't do anything.
And it's not like you can argue that they felt they were, you know, in any danger, so that's why.
No, yeah.
Not at all.
No.
Oh, yeah, the sergeant was like, oh, I was putting my foot on his shoulder to put him down. That's what he said. It's like, that is the biggest joke I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, even if you're going to put it on his shoulder, you slam that down. Stop BSing everybody. Like, do you think we're that dumb?
Literally see you on video.
Right. Have you ever watched yourself
We
on
can
the
tell.
video?
It was not the shoulder. Hello. You purposely went for his face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Such an unnecessary amount of aggression towards somebody
Correct.
who was already constrained. There
Yeah.
was no reason for that much aggression towards
100%.
this
There's no reason for any aggression. You're doing your job. You arrested him.
if the way policing is supposed to work is if the person you're arresting doesn't make it more violent, it shouldn't get more violent.
Exactly. I agree.
All right.
I agree.
Because
They should be
police are-
taken to jail and then, you know,
Yeah.
court proceedings and whatnot. Now, I do have to tell you, so here, the family saw the video. This man has been missing for 2 years. He suffers from schizophrenia. So he's not even in his right mind, and they're abusing him. And actually, about almost half of the deaths, fatal deaths in America, are because of people that have had mental illnesses. Is that sad? And the police don't know how to deal with somebody with mental illness. I think you need to take some classes because this definitely went too far.
Yes.
Yeah, and also it's like maybe do some training. Watch like MMA fighters. It's like seriously, if someone's in handcuffs, it shouldn't be that hard to take someone down. I mean, no, seriously, throw like a little mattress behind the guy. I'll foot sweep him so fast, have him drop on the mattress so it doesn't get hurt.
Right.
You know? Seriously, I could take someone down in handcuffs, no problem.
Everybody can, right?
Except they're going about this, I think, all the wrong way, and they're getting too emotionally involved.
Correct.
Where I think if they just stick with basic training, they know how to take them down, but they get all wrapped up.
So then, are we saying we need more funding for police, or
Absolutely.
Yeah, they
You know
need
what?
better training.
I actually 100% agree with that. I believe that there are things that they lack clearly. One, there's a huge question mark, I would say, on the qualifications required for somebody to become a cop.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned earlier, Vince, that in every job people make mistakes, and that is accurate. However, there are certain jobs, I believe, there is a smaller percentage of error that is allowed. You know, doctors, for example.
Right.
Cops is one of them. So it really requires a huge deal, I feel, of training and selection process. Like the recruitment process needs to be. You know, you're not hiring anybody that might go on a power trip just because they do have some power.
Right, and the biggest thing is, I think, like I said, I do feel for the police, everything they have to go through. And the biggest thing is to really try to take the emotions out of it.
Yeah.
When people are saying things to you, I mean, and yelling at you and stuff, you got to just stay cool hand Luke.
Which is not easy.
Right, so that takes a lot of training.
Sure.
Not just to go to one training class and be like, oh, I have it figured out.
Yeah.
I've been practicing on that myself. And I've been doing it for like 6 months, watching all my videos, where if somebody says something to me, I have the option to get upset with it or just blow it off.
Right.
And I think if these guys start learning, like, just let it go, man. It's just a word that they're saying.
Right.
Then maybe they can take these guys down and be like,
Don't
okay.
take it personally.
Yeah, they're
Do
taking it
your
too
job.
personally.
Yes.
Well, not. Yeah.
Anna?
Yeah, there's a question from a fan?
Yes. Ashley has asked us a question. Ashley, her question is, do you all think that the child should be taken from the mother who was talking bad about her baby? And I personally, at the end of the day, I don't think the baby should have been taken away. I think that's a little bit drastic, but I will say that there's no way to change the mother's attitude. So if the child is being taken care of physically, I guess, then I guess the child should stay with the mother, because there's no physical ongoing harm being done, and the child. it is unfortunate, but
The mother needs to grow up.
Basically,
And
yeah.
know what
Yeah.
she should not be saying, especially on video about your own child.
Maybe there should be training as well for parents.
There should be.
There
There
should
should.
be.
And when you have a pet, there should be training.
And she was drinking on top of it when she made this video.
Oh.
Yeah, she was drinking when she made the video. So she had drinks in her. Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying they said drinks. I can say this. I mean, there's been stuff I said. Man, if you had to take away everything for something I said, I'd have nothing left. You know? So I would say take the kid away.
All right. Well, you guys, this next story it's going to break your hearts. Lawyer catches police officers breaking the law. Watch this video.
Here's my business card. In Westerville, Ohio, that is lawyer Emmanuel Oluwale. On his own law office property, he is dumping out trash.
All right. Huh? If you don't mind, just so, yeah, if you don't mind, can we see your ID?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, that is pretty cool. That's a slick business card.
Yep.
All right. I'll give it to him. You can keep doing what you're doing. We're just, again, we're kind of concerned. Yeah. Seeing somebody dump a bunch of stuff there. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, don't run it.
Oh.
Don't run my card. Don't run my ID.
Huh?
Don't run my ID.
Don't run your ID?
You have no reason to. He is right.
Well, we're going to at least mark it down. We're going to take down your information.
Nope. I'm on my property, putting trash in mine.
Okay, but this is not just your property. It's several people's
I
property.
understand.
Okay.
But I'm not violating any law. So don't
No
run
one said
my
that
ID.
you're violating any
No,
law.
no, don't run my ID. I'm a lawyer. I know my rights.
Okay.
I'm not violating any law. I'm on my property. There's no suspicion. No one called anybody. So don't run my ID. I only identify myself so that this won't escalate.
That's fine, but we can still mark down who we're out with, and so that's what we're going to do.
No.
Yes.
You didn't stop me. Don't turn this into an issue.
Sir, you are turning this into an issue. We're just simply marking down who we're out with.
Yeah.
So he's just going to write it down on a piece of
Oh,
paper.
it's just your name.
Why?
Because, sir, we are out with you because we were concerned that you were illegally dumping.
But you've already discovered. Do you want me to show you my office?
I understand that you're here, but I don't know if this dumpster belongs to you or somebody else in the
It belongs to me.
To you and you alone.
Yes.
Can you prove that that dumpster belongs to you and you alone?
No, he does not have to prove he owns the dumpster.
If it's also other units.
So what? It belongs to everybody. We're paying for it. It doesn't really matter if it belongs to all the units.
That's fine.
Just give me back my ID. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm David Schuster, and thanks for watching. Emmanuel Oluwale says he had no problem with the officers checking to see if there was illegal dumping. The problem came when they wanted to run his ID. With no suspicion, no call to police prompting this incident, taking his ID and checking to see what it may show is against settled case law. Now, you may think, well, if you don't have any criminal record or a suspended license, why object? Well, the law is the law, and police take an oath to abide by the Constitution. Relatedly, legal experts say there is generally nothing wrong with an officer writing down on a piece of paper the name of somebody they talk to. Maybe the police want to put it in a report or a memo. But taking your driver's license and running a check on it means you are detained and cannot leave. And when there's no probable cause for such a detention, it violates the Constitution. Oluwale believes he was the victim here of racial profiling, and it certainly seems that way. Why didn't the officers believe the word of this black man? They had his business card and a driver's license confirming he was who he said he was. His law office sign is on the building. This was a white man or a white lawyer would these cops have sought to run his driver's license? Oluwale got his business card and license back without police scanning or running it. However, when the cops got back in their cruiser, the body camera shows they did a background check anyway.
All right, just turn around and get out of here, and then we'll look them up.
As are in my hands.
When the police looked him up, they confirmed again he was who he said he was, with no criminal record. The city of Westerville says it is now investigating the conduct of these two Ohio police officers. As we've seen time and again, police often misuse their power, especially against people of color. Thankfully, in this case, nobody got hurt, and the only long-term damage may be to the reputation of the Westerville police.
So that was a video. That was a video of Emmanuel Oluwale. He was the man that you saw being questioned by police. So here's what happened. He's at his law office property and he's dumping some trash out in the dumpsters. And he is approached by police when they ask him for some ID. They're asking him questions. What are you doing here? What's your business here? And he gives them, at first he hands them his lawyer card that is also on the building because he's at his law office.
Right.
So he hands them that and they're like, oh, this is cool. They're like, okay, like, let's have your driver's license now. So this is when it's like, okay, my driver's license. So he hands him his driver's license. And the cop number one that's questioning him asks the other cop to run his ID. Now this is when they messed up. They didn't know this guy was a lawyer. Well, actually now they know. But he was not going to have his rights violated by any of these guys anytime soon. So he was like, don't run my ID.
Right.
And he was right. They had absolutely no reason to run his ID. There was no reasonable suspicion.
Right.
There was no call to police. Why are you asking me questions?
Right.
Why are you taking up my time of my day? They don't have the right to do that without those things. So he had every single right to be as upset as he was. In fact, I think he could have even been more upset. And so eventually the cops give him his ID back, give him his card back, and they let him go on his way. But I will say, when he asked why this was happening, they said, at first they said, they were concerned with seeing somebody dump a bunch of stuff here. Isn't that
in a garbage?
In the trash can.
Thank you. I was like, am I missing something?
At least he's putting it in the garbage can.
Man throwing garbage into garbage can.
Exactly.
We're concerned.
Highlighted 5.
Man puts trash in trash can.
Imagine that.
Exactly where my head was. But then he asked them again because that was when after he handed them his business ID. Then after his driver's license, it was going back and forth, and he asked why again, and they said, we're concerned about you illegally dumping. So now it's not only, you just see me here and now you want to ask me questions. Now you think I've committed a crime.
Right.
What about this inherently says a crime? There's a guy putting trash in a trash can.
Right.
And you see crime.
Right.
Am I missing something here?
No. And then they also asked him, he said, this is my dumpster.
Yes.
He goes, there's a few of us. They want to prove that, tell us that it's yours. Show us where it says that that's your dumpster. He didn't have to do that. What are you kidding?
Yeah, another power trip.
They're looking for something.
Another power trip by these guys.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then here they did actually run his license after they got back in the car.
After the
so
fact.
now they are getting investigated. So thank goodness.
All right, well, Linda, please tell me your next topic is at least positive.
No. I'm afraid it's
All right, Debbie Downer, let's hear it.
Oh man.
Okay,
Let's
all
hear
right.
it.
I'm so sorry. This is actually pretty bad.
All right, I'll put the seatbelt on.
A man is charged of murdering his girlfriend's son, and he makes his first court appearance. Horrible. So this man of 31 years old basically brutally kills this little boy while his 3 siblings watch. Hit him in the face, hand, groin, back, feet. And even when the child is laying there unconscious, he continues to kick him. Sad. It's heartbreaking. And then here, he missed his first court appearance because he had mental issues.
Oh,
Again, mental issues.
I feel like at this point, like, are they claiming this after the fact just to get like?
That's actually a good point.
Right.
I mean,
I'm wondering.
The craziest part for me, to be honest with you, if you don't mind me jumping in, Linda, here, it's really the mother. I mean, the mother of the child,
And
the
she helped
girlfriend.
hide the body.
Right, because the remains were there for a long time.
Her reply when she was asked, like, essentially, how could you? She was like, I'm sorry, I didn't do this.
Right.
Yeah, that's all on
She
her.
helped hide the body.
It's
Yeah.
hers, and then the body was left with his siblings in an abandoned house. So like the mom and the boyfriend, like essentially killed the kid, left him with 3 siblings that are minors.
How traumatizing.
Left the house, completely checked out the house, and we're talking about a year. So they were living with a decomposing body for a year. Children. Now, let me ask you this: if any of these 3 children, 10 years down the line, does anything crazy horrific. Is it really their fault? Is it? I mean,
They're going to need a lot of help. They're going to need to talk to a lot of different therapists, and It's a horrific thing that they witnessed. Their sibling is gone. It's just horrible.
The repercussions of something like this it just goes beyond so much. It literally goes 20, 30 years in the future.
I want the guy and the mother death row now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, death row.
Honestly, I feel
He's
she's
got
more.
something,
He's crazy,
definitely.
but she's just as guilty, if not more.
Yeah.
His ass would have been out, thrown in jail. Sorry.
To me, she's double as guilty.
Honestly, I agree with you.
It's such a cycle of violence.
I want both of them gone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go take them out.
Let's go. Yeah, right. Let's go see.
Like
no, I'm not a fighter, so I'll hide behind you.
Yeah,
Let's get 'em.
You have the bigger bat. That's what I was thinking. Is like, they just have to get rid of them, and like you said, with the kids, and then put the kids in the proper care on how to handle this situation.
Right.
Yeah, because that's going to take years of therapy.
It is to witness. You know what? When I watch a scary movie, I have nightmares.
Right.
To actually witness something.
This horrific.
Again,
Yeah. It's,
I feel sorry for these.
all right. Well, you know what, guys? Before we let you go, we can't not discuss Travis Scott, Astroworld. I mean, honestly, I'll start it off with myself being a fan. I mean, I'm a big Travis Scott fan. Let's start with the facts, and then, as always, we'll break them out. So, Astroworld was scheduled for November 5th. Should have started at 3 p.m., which it did, and it was supposed to end 12 a.m. on Sunday, November 7th. However, on Friday night, crowds surged towards the stage, crushing against each other in the Houston Music Festival. It resulted in over 9 deaths. It was actually reported to be 8 deaths, and then 2 days ago, one of the people that were injured died from her injuries. So that number went up to 9. And we're talking about ages ranging from 14 all the way up to 29. Sadly, more minors than adults were killed in this tragedy. If that's not enough, 25 people were rushed to the hospital with injuries, 13 of which are still in the hospital today, 5 of which are under the age of 18. I'll also say that Travis Scott is facing mounting lawsuits with over 100 right now following the tragedy. And some say that number might still continue to rise up. I don't know what you mean. And those are the facts as we know them. But to be honest with you, I mean, what do you guys feel? I feel like I don't understand how this is Travis Scott's fault. I mean, you're on a concert, you're performing. And I saw obviously some clips also that kind of supports the idea that it looked like he knew something was up, but he had no idea. Like the weight of it, the magnitude. So thank you.
There should have been more security. I mean, people, more crowd control, and because again, it's still under investigation.
Yeah, they have no idea what caused
started the stampede.
Correct. Yeah, there's some theories, but they don't have any concrete reasons why this happened.
For me, the stampede, I can't blame that on anyone other than the crowd and the rowdy people in the crowd. Not a lot of, because I've been seeing a lot of videos coming out, just eyewitnesses being there on TikTok and other platforms, but you gotta have a little bit more responsibility because you saw videos of people just running because they could, because they wanted to.
Right.
People that didn't have tickets originally, just coming and showing up and just rushing the venue.
Yeah.
You have to take the personal responsibility a little
Correct.
bit.
I mean, mind you, the lawsuits are against Travis Scott and Live Nation, which was essentially the producer of the show. I would put much more blame on the organizers of the show than the performer.
Well, yeah, because I saw a clip on that, and basically what they were saying that when you have a crowd like that, you have to do crowd control.
Correct.
What if there was a shooting, right?
There's 50,000 in that crowd.
Yeah, right. So if there's a shooting, a mass shooting, anything that happens, you have to know how to control the crowd.
Correct.
And that's what they did not do.
Right.
I don't believe it's his fault at all.
Yep.
Right? Hey, he's a performer. His job's to perform.
Right.
Not to do crowd control. He hires people to do that job.
Correct.
So I don't see him being responsible for any of that.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's the people he hired.
Yeah. And
because
there's videos of him stopping the show in one instance when he saw an ambulance rush to the audience to kind of
get the person who had passed out at the time. So he stopped the whole show until the ambulance went all the way and reached there. And there's another clip of the cops, a lot of cops, standing just outside of the stage. And that was 20 minutes apparently after the pandemonium broke, basically. So, I mean, if the cops themselves looked at that point like they didn't know the magnitude of the whole situation, are we really expecting like Travis Scott, like mid-Astro?
Yeah.
Like, wait,
Right.
But again, there is some responsibility because again, you have a concert. You know you're going to have a few thousand people or whatever. You really have to.
It's not Travis Scott's responsibility. The people he hired, they should be having people watch the crowds. They should be watching the crowd to say.
Them, so
I
it's
disagree.
like they
I'm
need
sorry.
to know
I think
what they need to do.
If anyone had like the best point of view of just everything, it was Travis. And I think he saw someone pass out, but as I was watching the video, like correct me if I'm wrong, but the music was still playing. As he was like, oh, I think somebody's passed out over there.
So I don't know if there's like several of these videos. The video I saw did not have music on it. He had stopped the music for to tell, basically direct the ambulance.
Good.
He was literally saying like, please can somebody come here? And he waited until somebody.
Where I'm going with it, even if he had the best view, the people you hire should have a view of all those people. So again, if there's a shooting or something, they can try to guide people what to do. It's not his job to be the guide.
But also at the same time, the crowd was chanting, "Stop the show."
Yeah.
What a lot of artists would be like, okay, well, what's going on? Why do what's the energy is not connecting?
Right.
As I was watching these videos, the energy of the crowd versus the energy of Travis was just not connecting, and I don't know how he couldn't feel that. Like they were over here in panic, dying, struggling,
Right.
And he just seemed like he was just chilling up there, doing his thing.
I'm staying by his side because I'm thinking if I'm in my zone and I'm there singing,
agreed.
You know, I'm in my zone singing, and I see people like stop the show. I'm like, yeah, man, they want more, right?
I'm trying not to be distracted by the crowds.
Right. So then again, why didn't they just cut the power?
They should have cut the power.
They could just shut the power off.
It's everybody's responsibility, but I can't leave Travis Scott out of it.
Completely out of it?
I've seen so many other artists completely be like, okay, no, like get her help, get her out of the crowd. Get this person some water, call an ambulance, stop the music, nothing is continuing. If somebody needs help.
But have we seen anything of this magnitude happen in a concert? Like, is there like a
only since Vegas when they did the shooting? Remember that?
I think that's a different situation.
Well, yeah, different. But yeah.
And what was it? How many people were at Woodstock? We were not there. I know you guys think we're older. I was there. But we were there.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine you at Woodstock, Linda. I know you'd be covered in mud.
They didn't have any stampedes.
Yeah.
And I believe that's it for our topics today.
So thanks, Ed. But yeah, Jess, you have a question about the guy with the trash. You know, what happens if the cop would have stopped me, right? This happened 30 years ago. Well, not. So I was in the drag racing and everything, well, I still am. But I had my Camaro, and me and my friends were hanging out in the parking lot. And we're hanging out like near the back of the parking lot. We're not bothering anybody. And here comes the police. So everybody scatters. Well, I don't realize there's such a thing as loitering, right? So then the police show up and they're like, what are you doing here? I'm just like, I'm talking to my friends. So then they're looking at my car, the tires and inspection stickers. When I said the one guy was like, oh, hey, wait, I know your dad. I used to work for him because my dad did tree work and landscaping. And he's like, oh, how's Mike doing? I'm like, Mike's doing good. So we get talking. He's like, oh, well, he goes, tell Mike that I'm nice enough to let you go with a warning. I'm just hanging out in the parking lot with my friends. Right?
Right.
Yeah, so this is the best. He goes, tell Mike I was nice enough to let you go with a warning. I said, I can't tell Mike that. Because if I tell Mike, Mike would say, next time if he gives you a ticket, tell him I'll personally shove it right up your ass. Right? I literally said this to the cop.
Oh my God.
And the cop goes, yeah, your Uncle Mike would do that too.
That's a great segue for one of the questions we just got here. We were just asked, what would we do if the cops approached us while we're simply taking the trash out? I feel like this depends really on each person and how they would react. Vince, for example, just said how he would react. To be honest with you, I'd probably be super polite while being super annoyed and then go on a rant afterwards, like, how the hell would you do this?
I honestly think
not that that's the right thing to do.
Minorities. I really think, okay, us being white, we would be stopped less than a minority. So sad to say, looking at everything, and it happens more and more. and we know that.
Right, right. Guys, I just want to remind you of the information about the organization that is helping children and their families in these tough times.
Yes, and we're all going to help too.
Yep, it's EHODO and A Momolo, educational.
Say that again.
Don't tell me, all right? It's EHODO and A Momolo. Got it. Got it. All right.
Yeah, and before we wrap this up, I want to remind everybody, on Thanksgiving, Thursday the 21st, our first Thanksgiving giveaway. Go to the Facebook page for more details. And hey, to all our fans, welcome back, baby. Good to see us again. And as you see, we have two more beautiful people and sexy with us. We'll get to them in a moment. Linda, swing it. What do you have to say?
Yes, so happy to be back again, and definitely like and share, and we're excited to be here, and we definitely want to have you for the 21st, okay, next weekend. But yes, we do have two new people.
And Anna and Zen, they want you to ring that bell.
Yeah,
absolutely. Super happy to be here. Loved our first time. I hope to see you again next week. Make sure to check all those details on Facebook and come meet us.
Yeah, it's great to meet you guys. Thank you so much for watching this entire show. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment your favorite parts. And
so you can keep seeing these beautiful faces.
Right.
All right, thanks everybody. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.